What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update on the market and break down what I think is going to play out. But let me first say that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice, and also if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. The offer ends very soon. Anyways, when it comes to the market, I just want to talk about some data. Today, we had some building permits data coming out, and we're seeing more of those than expected with housing starts still going up. This is also higher than what the forecast consensus happened to be. And the market, as a result, it has been dropping, but I don't think it's because of this data. I think it has more to do with just like technicals from yesterday and a bearish continuation. But for today, intraday, watch for volatility at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we have the 52-week bill auction, and at 1 p.m. as we have the 20-year bond auction also coming out. So watch and see how these end up affecting the markets. Then after that, we have some bond auctions, and we'll have to see how things progress. But this is all the data coming out amidst tomorrow when we have the FOMC meeting, which is going to be a pretty big day. But for now, we'll look for volatility at 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, for other pieces of news involving the markets, I just want to say that futures have dipped quite a bit in the pre-market. This is happening amidst this downtrend that's perpetuating, and it's still continuing to affect us. Nvidia has a next-gen development, so we're basically going to be looking at their new AI chips. And the first chip in the lineup was the GB200, which is going to ship later this year. It's supposed to be even more powerful than their H100, similar to what's used for powering an AI boom. But they're hoping for bigger GPUs, which are going to be important, and they could be a lot more effective. They're going to be so much more powerful. They'll cost like 25,000 to 40,000 per chip, but that's going to be very useful for any companies out there, anyone else that's involved. There's a dangerous dynamic playing out in banks that's left hundreds of institutions vulnerable, and that's basically what analysts are looking at. They're looking at consulting by Claro's group, and they found more than 280 banks have both high exposure to commercial real estate and other interesting factors like that. So there could be more challenges for banks moving forward with these high interest rates. We'll have to see what happens to them moving forward, especially if things start cracking. So we want to be very careful with this high exposure, and we'll see how things go from there. VW workers at a plant in Tennessee have filed a petition with the National Labor Relations Board to basically unionize votes. And that's actually a very, very big milestone for the UAW. They're trying to organize workers at 13 automakers after its record breaking contacts. And they're trying to actually continue to make more things done. That's something that's worth noting. There's also some new things coming out that Unilever is spinning out of its ice cream units, which is very popular, and it's generated about $7.9 billion in euros, which is $8.6 billion USD. But we're going to see a lot of changes to the company, so that's something worth noting, especially after the job cuts. That is it for now in terms of news. I'm not really seeing anything else too crazy. Now let's just focus on what the market's doing. So for SPY, this thing is trying to rebound just a little bit. We're going to be watching 511.7 as resistance, 512.5, and then we have 513.5 above that, followed by 514.2 and 515. For support, watch 510, 508.5, and if we lose that, 507.5 is next. There is a big downtrend on SPY. It's looking pretty bearish right now. If you look at the bigger time frames, it's still weakening, but it is attempting to kind of curl a little bit. So we're going to be looking to see if SPY could try to retest 512 or so. We have to get back above 512.5 for us to push higher and closer to 514. But either way, no matter where we pop to, whether it's 512 to 514, this thing's going to likely establish a lower high and then continue lower. So the most likely possibility is we kind of push a little bit, we try to retest some of this resistance, then we continue to fall and make our way down to 510 again, if not 508.5. So I'm anticipating a little push upwards, a little pop, some sideways price action, then drop back down. I think that's the most likely possibility for SPY. Look for a pop and drop, and we'll have to see what happens from there. Now, for other tickers like Tesla, okay, for Tesla, I'm seeing something very similar. So Tesla was trying to rebound a bit. It's looking pretty weak on the 30 minutes time frame, making a full on U-turn. We're watching support right now at 171. And also on the 4-hour time frame, we're actually seeing Tesla turning quite a bit. We have support to be watching for at 170 again. So with this gap down here, down to 164, I think there's a very good chance that somebody pop a bit and continue to fall. And I think that there's going to be some downside coming. So I wanted to warn you guys about that. The chart does look quite bearish. It looks like we're rejecting off the 50 EMA. We got this little pump as a liquidity grab, and now it's going to likely continue to sink. So this is like going to likely cause Tesla to sink even more. So I'm anticipating some downside. Watch support at 170. If we lose that, watch 168, and then 165, and then our gap in 164. Watch resistance on 174, 173.75, and 175. May pop a bit, then continues to sink. So I do anticipate some downside right there. Onto the QQQ, I believe that the QQQ, let me see, it's right here. On the 4-hour time frame, the QQQ is also turning a bit. It is trying to rebound a little bit. It could retest 436 to 437.5, but then I do see it eventually sinking lower as we have a bearish looking structure and the QQQ is weakening right here, eventually coming down to 431. So look for a little pop, a little rebound, and then it's going to likely continue lower. We could get close to 436 or maybe a little higher than that before it continues to sink. So I do see an opportunity on the QQQ. I see that it's going to likely retest and get very close to 436. But it's still looking weak. There's still this downtrend, this channel I called out on the QQQ2. So with this pop and drop like structure, it may pop again and then continue lower and eventually make our way down to 432, then 431. Look for a push first. We could go into the 436s before we continue lower. Onto Nvidia. Nvidia is not looking that great in my opinion. This thing is on a downtrend. We actually saw this liquidity grab here. Now it's continuing to sink. We're barely holding 862, so it could actually retest some imbalances at like 877, 885. We could come back to closer to about 880. Then we could reject here and then make our way back down lower. If we lose support at 865, we could come down to about 852 and then eventually 840. It might rebound a little bit, then eventually make its way back down lower. So we're going to be watching to see what Nvidia ends up doing. I also want to note that Nvidia is going to likely gap down quite a bit. The event is not really helping and it's still looking kind of bearish. So look for a retest, in my opinion, closer to about 874. It could go a little higher. And then it might retest 870 or so and then eventually continue lower. The chart is looking bearish, so there is going to be more weakness coming. So a pop and drop like structure is most likely coming. And the same thing could be said about Aapl. Now, Aapl is showing some life, trying to retest 174, but it has to try to hold 173.6 because the last time this thing was trying to rebound, it failed. So on Aapl, it's actually showing a bit more strength in the morning. It could retest 175. We'll have to see what it does here, and then 175, 174. I think it might pop a little bit, then come back down, just consolidate a bit. So it's showing more strength than before, but it might just remain range bound. For support, watch 174, 172.5, and 170.9. May pop, push a little higher, come back down, then just consolidate. I find that to be the most likely possibility. All right, so that's it for the video. A lot of tickers are red, even super micros down quite a bit. So I just wanted to call that out. With that being said, guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Have an absolutely incredible training session for today. Watch your levels and do what you have to do. Thank you for listening. Mark you to the moon because the long term is still very bright despite these fluctuations. And peace out.